through pain into purpose. My name is Nancy Taya Aragbai, and I am your host. Today, I have with me the Belle Jones, amazing, phenomenal woman. I mean, her story is so amazing. I cannot wait to get into it. Belle, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much for such an amazing introduction.
Can you
My
please
name is
tell our
Belle
audience? Oh,
Jones.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, please tell our audience who you are and what you do.
Yes, of course. My name is Belle Jones. I am originally from Cameroon. Please.
Yeah.
I know. I would have loved to be from Nigeria, but Cameroon is. We are sister countries. I
We
am
are.
Belle Jones. I'm the CEO of Queen's Academy, Belle Secrets, Belle Secret Europe. And you know what? I have a lot of love. I call my companies lovers, by the way. And I am not very faithful when it comes to business. I have a lot of lovers around. So I have a lot of baby companies, but the main ones are Belle Secrets, Queen's Academy, and Belle Secret Europe. And I am a mother as well, a wife, and mentor, investor, and so many things. I do so many things.
You are. You wear so many
Yeah.
hats, and you are phenomenal at it all.
Thank you. Doing my best. Listen, I'm
Yes,
doing my best.
that's all we can do. That's all we can do.
Yes.
I'm really interested to dive deep into your story. Again, you heard her. She is amazing, serial entrepreneur. It's
Mhm.
not an easy thing. And
No.
I'm really interested to know how you got here. Is this just something that has always been on top of mind since you were little? How did you get to all of these different business ventures and who you are today?
Well, Nancy, the thing is, I knew I was made for business. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I didn't know I was made for business, but I knew I wanted to do something around business.
Mm.
See, I got in the US in 2009, and I was very young. And as a young girl in Cameroon, I used to sell puff puff,
Oh,
puff
yeah.
puff. I used
Yeah.
to sell puff puff with my mom, and sometimes she would send me in the market with a puff puff on my head, and
Wow.
she would tell me what to do. Like if somebody buys 10 puff puff, give them 2 puff puff as a gift, so that next time they're gonna buy more puff puff and stuff like that. If somebody buys, give them a plastic, the water in a plastic bag. Give
Mhm.
them some water. Like my bucket used to be heavy, and my mom would be like, "You better be home with nothing in that bucket." So I feel like my mom prepared me as a young girl
Mm.
for everything that I'm doing now without even knowing it. So when I got here in the US, one thing I did was follow what everybody else was doing. Everybody else was trying to be a nurse, trying to be a doctor, trying to be a lawyer, which is good. And I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a nurse too. So what did I do? Go to school, got my bachelor degree in science, and I realized that's not what I wanted. That
Mm.
was not my passion. I love to take care of people. I love people. I started from being a CNA to being an LPN to be an RN, but it was not what I really wanted. I wanted
Mm.
to sell. I wanted to talk to people. So
Mm.
in 2018, I decided that I was going to launch my business. Eventually, I'm sure you're going to ask me, how did I come to that? And when I launched my business, I basically just used the little tips and tricks that my mom gave me when I
Mm.
was a little girl selling puff puff, and I
Mm.
just used them into my business. And up to today, I'm still doing the same thing, and it's working like magic. Never been to marketing school. I don't have an
Mm.
MBA, and I have taken classes, of course, but really, it's everything that my mom taught me. So if I can say anything, is basically her the reason I am here today and doing everything that I do business wise, and I love it. It's like I can sleep, wake up, and be like, business, business. I love it.
I love how that intergenerational culture was like passed down.
Yes.
I was like envisioning you in the market, envisioning your mom, and like you really do carry this amazing spirit. But I think that's something that
Thank you.
sometimes they don't teach us. We always think it's like these
Mm,
strategic
yeah.
business strategies and tools and these big
Mm,
names that we use, but really putting a smile on people's face and being kind and generous,
mm,
that is enough.
yes.
So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
So you went into nursing, you climbed up the ladder, you became an RN, and then you quit. I'm like, hey, so what happened in between like being an RN and like finally deciding to say, you know what, enough is enough? What were you experiencing?
Well, in 2014, I started my YouTube channel, and I'm still talking about it. I used to talk about feminine hygiene, encourage women to take care of themselves. This was triggered when I visited Cameroon in 2013 for the very first time. After leaving in 2009, I visited Cameroon, and I noticed that some of my cousin and aunts had some body odor. And as African, you're not going to tell your aunt, auntie, you have body odor. She going to slap the hell out. She doesn't care if you live in America. She going to be like, who you think you are? So
Yeah.
I was like, I need to find a way to communicate without disrespecting anyone. So I started my YouTube channel in 2014 where I would talk about feminine hygiene, and it was not very well received. People were very negative, like, how dare you? You're African. We don't speak about feminine hygiene. But I honestly focused on those people who were like, oh my God, thank you so much. I did not speak about this with my parents. Your videos are helping me. And guess what I would do? I would send those videos to my friends and my aunts and my cousins. And I would be like, what do you guys think? But they're listening, they're taking advices. So that was a way for me to tell them that, hey, you stink, you need to do better. But, like, just acting as if I'm doing it for everybody, which it ended up being for everybody. And then I did YouTube from 2014. I'm still a YouTuber right up to now. In 2018, I had a little beginning of 2018. I used a feminine wash from Walmart, and I had a very bad reaction to it. And I
Mm.
went to my doctor, and he told me I needed to stop using that feminine wash, and I can use the Castillo soap. And I was like, nah, I don't want to use anything down there. I'm gonna figure something out. I'm just gonna figure something that is gonna keep me fresher all day long. So eventually I started, looking around how to create feminine washes, how to do this, how to do that. Stumbled on a woman in Texas who was selling on Etsy. And I was like, are you willing to teach me? She said, yeah, sure, if you pay me. So I paid her. I went to Texas. She trained me. I came back to Atlanta. I started, mixing things. I made a lot of mistakes. My husband helped me. It was a lot of headache, sleepless nights. Eventually I got it. When I got it, I was working at the hospital, right? And I would tell my colleagues that I want to start selling, and they would be like, "You want to sell feminine care product? Who's gonna buy it? Like, is everyone Walmart? Who's gonna buy it?"
Mm.
I was like, "Oh no, that's what I want to do." But there was this one girl at the entrance of the hospital, an assistant, a white lady, and I remember thinking about the name of my company, and my mom was like, "Does anybody knows about it?" I said, "No." She said, "So it's a secret?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Okay, it's your secret." So I called it Bell Secrets.
Oh, wow.
Now I was so confused because it was between Bell's Secret and Bell Secret. So one secret or many secrets. So I asked the assistant, "What do you think? Should I put an S at the end of secrets or no S?" She said, "Do you sell one product?" I said, "No, I sell many." She said, "Put S, is many secrets." And that's how Bell's Secrets was born. And in 2018, I launched Bell's Secrets, and I was still working and I was still doing my business. And then 2019, I lost my mom. When I
Mm.
lost my mom, I had to leave work to, mourn my mom. And they were like, "No, you can't leave work for 2 weeks." I was like, yes, yes, I can leave work for
Mm.
2 weeks. And they were like, "You don't have any more PTO, you don't have time and all of that. You cannot leave." And I was like, "I'm gonna leave." So I left. I
Mm.
left, and when I left, they were like, "You better not come back since you left without,
Wow.
being given the right to leave." I left. I needed space. I needed, my mom I just lost the person who inspires
Yeah.
me. So it was very hard. And I started with Bell Secrets, and the community, the Cameroonian community or the African community is very judgmental. So
Yeah.
my business took a huge hit when I lost my mom. People were saying so many negative things. "Oh, her products are not good. She's burning women. She's doing this and she's doing that." So people stopped shopping. People basically just stopped buying my products.
Yeah.
I needed to pay my bills, so I went back to work. And as I was at work, Nancy, something happened. I was at work and I was looking at my phone, and I received 4 orders. And I was like, "Belle, what the heck are you doing here?
Mm.
You could have been home focusing on your business, and maybe you would have had 20 orders by now." It
Mm.
was 12 p.m. I went into my manager's office and I said, "I quit."
Wow.
And she said, "What?" I said, she said, "You just came back today." I said, "I quit." And then see, I left. I left, never looked back. And I
Wow.
was like, "I don't care. Y'all can take whatever you want to take, the diploma, whatever you want to take it. I'm going to focus on my business." That was my calling. That was what I wanted to do. So I focused on Bell Secrets. I switched my website from French to English. I turned everything in English and I focused on the US customer base. And that's how everything started changing for me. From 2018 to 2024, almost 2024, I haven't looked back and I don't think I'm going to look back.
Wow.
So, if I can answer your question, I can say the trigger was actually my family and friends back home. And
Hmm.
then the idea and the love of doing it slowly came along, and I found my passion and I just got stuck to it.
That's so amazing. One, I'm so proud of
Thank
you. By
you.
the way, Belle just celebrated 5 years
Yes.
this year, and it was such an amazing
Yeah.
just celebration. So congrats
Thank
to all of
you.
that. But as you were speaking, like literally my heart like broke a little bit because as you're speaking, I feel like I can feel your mom,
Yeah.
and I know how I am with my mom. And so,
Mm,
I'm like, how was that period of time? Because 2018 you start, 2019 you lose her.
mm.
This is right at right before the pandemic happens.
Yes.
There's so much going on. What were you experiencing, and how were you able to navigate that? This is the woman who taught
Who?
you everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm just like
Oh, no, no, no. You're
my
good. You're
chest,
good.
I can feel her literally. I'm like, "Oh my
I
gosh." And
know.
so I'm interested to know, like, how did you navigate that? Because I know that was such a difficult time for you.
It was hard. I hated God.
Mm.
I hated God and I told him, I don't like you. I hate you. I don't want you no more. I'm not going to pray you anymore. I don't even know who you are. I never even seen you. I don't like, I was just like, how can you do that to me? Of all people on this earth, why her? I am just now making enough money to buy her a house. She never had a house, to make her comfortable. She died the day her visa came out to come to
Oh
the
my
US.
gosh.
How can you do this? I don't understand. She was not sick. She had nothing. It was hard. I don't wish it on my worst
Ooh.
enemy. And mind you, when she died, I was in a hospital because I just had my breast reduction. So I was laying in Miami in the hospital with my best friend, and I woke up and I saw 18 missed calls. And I spoke to her like around 3 a.m. our time, so 9 a.m. her time. And I told her at 3 p.m. they're gonna take her to the hospital, so which is 9 a.m. over here. And by 7 a.m. they were calling me, and I see 18 missed calls, and I answer and I call back, and I'm like, "What's going on?" The minute I heard my sister scream, her scream came from the gut. Like the scream was like I never heard that scream before. I just hung up my phone and I just started crying. Eventually, I ended up having a broken heart attack while I was there. I had to go to the emergency room.
Wow.
Girl, it was just too much. Like I could not believe it. Eventually, I had to make peace. I had to make peace with myself. She was with me for a very long time. She left, but I know she's still with me in spirit. Every time I cry, she would come in my dreams. She would talk to me. She would tell me everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna succeed. She told me I was gonna build my house in the dream, and I can't believe I built my house. Like she told me all of these things. And in 2019, after I lost her in March of 2019, I decided to focus everything on my business. So my anger, my stress, everything was on the business. I was learning. I was just doing everything I can, and that turned out to be the best year business wise that I've ever had. 2019, 2020, 2021 were on fire. It's like that woman was in my spirit and she was like, yes, keep going, keep going, keep going. And eventually I had to make peace with God. I said some mean things, and he's always been there whenever I needed him. And I heard someone once say that sometimes God looked at us on earth, and he decided to choose the best flowers, and she was just one of the best flowers that he wanted in his garden. And I
Mm.
shouldn't be sad about that. And that kind of made my heart, like just calm down. And I ended up praying. I prayed and I asked for forgiveness. And I was like, if you are out there, if you're real, I just want you to always be with me because now I'm by myself. I don't
Oh,
want you to let me down
I'm
again.
crying over you.
And I think he gave me so much strength where I never knew I had strength. And I promised him, I told him that if you promise to always be with me, I promise to give back to your children. And I started teaching people how to start their own business. I started public speaking. I started giving back to the community. I opened a foundation because he was giving me so much in my business, and I decided to give back. So I had to keep my promise.
Mm.
Up to now, him and I have a deal. You take care of me, I give back to your children. I said, I have a deal with that. I don't know if he's a man or a spirit. We have a deal. Like, I will always give and he will always take care of me. That's all I ask for.
Wow.
My heart was very heavy for a long time. I hated everything that was around me, but eventually I had to make peace with it. And I think that was the drive of my success. And the fact that I also made peace with God helped me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, girl.
I'm so sorry I made you cry. It was not my intention.
No, I love it. I'm like, wow. I just felt the whole thing, girl. I'm like,
I'm
whoo.
so sorry.
Caught
I'm
me
so
by
sorry.
surprise.
I have cried so many times. I try to hold myself these days because something crazy happened to me yesterday. You
Hmm.
know, like I'm telling you about God. He's my best friend, girl. Yesterday I woke up, my TikTok was suspended. Like I have 800,000 followers on TikTok and it was
Wow.
suspended. My TikTok shop was shut down. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? Like 2024 is coming. I don't want this now. So I went online and I started talking with the TikTok team, and they're telling me, oh, I violated something. Like, what did I violate? Tell me so I can fix it. Oh, we cannot tell you. We're going to send you an email in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm like, this have got to be the worst day ever. So I had some friends that came over. They came over. We spent some time. They left, and I went back on my computer. And as I'm talking to the TikTok team, nobody is helping me. I turn my computer off. I stop and I say, I know you're there and
Mm.
you promised to take care of me, and I promised to give back to your children. And why do you want to do this to me entering into a new year? I don't want to be depressed. I want to succeed. And you know that if I have, I will give. If
Mm.
I don't have, I can't give. If you have love, you can give love. If you have money, you can give money. But if you don't have none, you can't give none.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to open this computer one more time. I'm going to try. And if you're out there, please just help me and bring it back. Nancy, and I say, this is my last try. I went and did pop, 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 pop. 15 minutes later, the page was back. The
No.
TikTok shop was back. I said, I'm going to buy a Bible tomorrow. Girl, I said, I'm buying my Bible. You know what? I'm just gonna pray you. I'm
Wow.
gonna pray. So that man and I, we have a
Yeah.
special
Yeah,
relationship.
God is faithful. God is so, so, so
He
faithful.
is so good. He
And
is
you
so good.
trust him. You trust him. You gave him you, right? You surrendered.
Yes, I gave him me. He gave me his promise too.
Yeah. 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 I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
So it was not easy, but I made it. You know, you cannot dwell in pain, and
Yeah.
you cannot dwell in remorse. You know,
Mm.
there is something that say there is a quote that says, "Sad people love to see people sad," and
Yeah.
I am a happy person. I don't like to see people sad, and I felt like when I was sad, everybody else around me was also sad because I was not smiling. My children were
Yeah.
sad. My husband was sad. My employees were sad because I was sad, and I didn't like that. I
Yeah.
am the light of the room. So whenever I smile and I'm happy, everybody else is happy. And I
Yeah.
said, I'm not one of those people who like to make other people sad. I just want to smile, just want to be happy. I will cry in private, but I will be so happy in
That's dope.
public. And I started doing the inner work, kind of where I'm praying and I'm just asking for forgiveness, and I'm asking him to give me strength to keep on going.
Whew.
It was a lot of work, personal work.
Personal work and
Yes.
trusting, leaning on a spiritual power. I'm like, God is so
Yes.
real. There's things that we get to a point where we can't do it by ourselves, and it's like, God, just take it away.
Yes.
Do what you
Just
gotta
take
do.
it.
Take it away. It's yours. That's so beautiful. I want to quickly transition into the coaching and the speaking,
Mm,
because it was after your mother's passing to where you're like, you know what, I'm going to give it all out. Tell me
yeah.
a little bit about your coaching and speaking business, and what is it that you do, and how has that been for you as well?
Okay. In 2022, when people started seeing the success of my businesses, people became curious. You know, whenever you are strong, people want to know where you get your strength.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you are powerful, people want to know where you get your power. So people started asking questions. The funny thing is nobody was there when I was struggling, but that's not the reason. I made a promise, so I had to keep it. So I started doing these Zoom classes where people will pay to come to my Zoom. But I started listening to other people. Your Zoom classes are too expensive. It's $300. It's $500. I am a mother. I can't afford that. So I was like, okay, I need to create a platform where everybody can pay every month, but a very good amount, a very affordable amount for everyone, and I can just teach everybody. And that's how I came up with the Queen's Academy idea. I started in 2022, in 2020, and I launched in 2022, March of 2022. And after the Queen's Academy, I decided I wanted to become a public speaker. I started talking about feminine hygiene in different, gathering. I
Yeah.
would speak about feminine hygiene, but people would be like, "We already know you've been talking about that since 2014. We want you to talk about business." I said, "Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna transition." So I started talking about business, and then people were like, "Well, how do you stay motivated? What how do you do it? You do so much. You travel. You're a mother. You're a wife. How do you do it?" So I was like, "Oh, I guess I have to add some motivation on it." So I added some motivation into speaking, and it has been amazing. I came to find out if maybe I was supposed to be a pastor. I don't know, but I found love and passion whenever I'm speaking to people. I can I can like share my energy and my strength and my powers, and
Yeah.
I can hear them and I can feel them. And a lot of them, not all of them, but many of them go ahead and just turn themselves into better people, and launch their businesses and become start learning. So speaking has been amazing, and now I'm focusing on that even more.
Yeah.
Though I'm still focusing on my businesses, I have my lovers and I have people you have to learn to what's the word in English, when you assign, you have to learn to assign. You have to learn to assign uh, people to different jobs. It
Yeah.
is impossible for me to do everything,
Yeah.
so I had to assign people. That's why I have a lot of people who work for me, and I gotta pay them every month. I don't like payroll. I used to love payroll because I got paid. Now I gotta pay people
Right.
how I
Right.
got paid
Right.
earlier. So I had to just I just share what I love. I share what I have in my heart and what has been the key to my success with other people. I can give you the information. It is up to you to get up and do the work.
Yep. Yep.
That's what I always tell them.
I said it's applied information that changes situations.
Exactly. And it has changed my life because as I'm talking to people, I'm learning as well.
Mm.
I'm like, sometimes I tell myself, a little pep talk, girl, you cannot tell people to do something you're not doing. You
Yep.
can't tell people to eat healthy, meanwhile, you're not eating
Yep.
healthy. So I started applying my own advices that I was given, and it has helped a lot. Like, I am my own mentor. I say that sometimes.
Yes. You
But
are
it's been
so.
great. It's been great. And I can't wait to speak next year in a lot of, gathering with you and
You
Nimi
sure
and all
are.
the
I
other
have a list
girls.
for you. I have a whole list of the Bell speaking. Okay.
Thank you, Nancy. I
Thank you.
would
Thank
love
you.
that. I would love that.
Now I'm getting ready to wrap it up.
Yes.
But what is your final words for anyone who may be going through something
Mm,
challenging? They may be
mm.
feeling like they can't push through, they're feeling stuck. What would you say to them?
What would I say to someone who feels stuck? I would say that, what I usually tell my students is that we do not choose our parents. We do not choose our continent where we're going to be born, but we definitely choose how we're going to finish our lives.
Hmm.
So, if this is how I see it, this is my way of seeing things. If you're broke, you chose to be broke because there's so many things you can do. Get up and go to work. Do not dwell in sadness. It might be hard, and trust me, it is hard for lots of people, even for rich people. It
Mhm.
might be difficult, but get up and go do it. Don't don't procrastinate, and don't wait. Tomorrow is not promised. You don't know if you're going to wake up. People were here yesterday, they're not here today. If you woke up and you have breath and you have food and
Mhm.
you have a roof over your head, girl, you have a lot.
Yes.
Get up and do your best. Give your best. Are people going to say no? Of course. Are people going to close some doors on you? Of course. But guess what? Some other people are going to open some doors for you. Some other people are going to clap for you. So you have to get up and put yourself to work. If you have to go to different seminar and listen to people and learn to speak, ask questions, ask for help. You might ask 10 people and 9 people might say no, but that one person is going to say yes. You need to walk by faith, not by sight.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell people. Walk by faith. You have to believe to the things that you haven't even done yet if you want them to come to life.
Hmm.
So if there's someone out there struggling, girl, I have struggled too. Girl, I came from a selling puff puff in Cameroon. If you see
Right.
where I grew up, I
Yeah.
used to sleep on the floor.
Hmm.
Mouse used to eat my hair and my toes because I didn't have water to shower.
Hmm.
I walk a mile to fetch water.
Hmm.
Girl, if you see where I came from, you would never think I would be the woman I am
Hmm.
today. But I chose this life.
Yeah.
I told myself, I am not where I grew up at. I am
Hmm.
not that person. I decided to get out of there and learn. If you don't know how to speak English, learn. You don't know how to speak French, learn. Whatever it is, go and learn. It's
Yeah.
never too late. Most millionaires make it at 50, 60, 70. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. And there's so many easy ways for us to make money these days. YouTube University, Google University, ChatGPT University, TikTok University. Like, come on, don't tell me you don't have money. Okay, fine, but you
Yeah.
have those free university. Go and learn
You
and
see,
ask for help.
we have Belle here preaching. She turned it into a
Oh
motivation.
my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I
No,
passed myself
I
up.
love it.
I'm
I
so
love it.
sorry.
I love it. I love it. Please tell the audience, where can they find you? Where can they keep up with you? And where can they continue to be inspired through you?
Oh, thank you, Nancy. Well, I am mostly on Instagram. On Instagram, my name is Belle Jones. That's simple. You will find me, and I'm verified. So many fake accounts, but it's Belle Jones. On Facebook is also Belle Jones. On TikTok, Belle Jones. So it's Belle Jones everywhere. And on YouTube is the Queen Mother.
Mhm.
The
I
Queen Mother.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely
Yes, and that's it. Really, that's where they can find me, and I'm always available to help if I can help in any shape or form. I will help.
well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you. This
Nancy.
was so amazing, so inspiring. Thank you for being here today. I truly, truly appreciate you.
Thank you, Nancy. Your people are going to tell you we want her back.
Absolutely. In many forms, she will be back.
I will be back. Thank you so much,
Thank
Nancy.
you. Thank
And